Hi guys, Rassie Erasmus has named the Springbok team to take on the All Blacks at Ellis Park in the Rugby Championship on Saturday. There are 9 changes from the team that walloped the Wallabies in Perth. Jasper Visser is back at 8th man. We know there's a crisis at lock. For example, Eben Etzebeth and Salman Murat are out. There are also injuries to Loot de Jager, Ergier Snyman, John Klein and Franco Mostert. But South Africa has incredible depth these days. Here's the starting 15. We'll start with the forwards. Oxenchair, Bongim Bonambi and Frans Malherbe will make up the front row. Pieter-Steph du Toit and Ruan Nortje will be the locks. Siya Kolisi obviously captains the team. Ben Jason Dixon is the blindside flank. And Jasper Visser, as mentioned, comes in at 8th man. Obviously, it's not ideal that we don't have Eben Etzebeth, and obviously many of those other locks. Ergier Snyman is a particular favourite of mine. Obviously, Loot de Jager is more of a long-term injury. But I think that we've got a decent, very, very decent, actually, combination there. Ruan Nortje actually impressed as far as I'm concerned. And Pieter-Steph du Toit, you could say he's the best rugby player in the world right now. I know that the French are going to tell you about Antoine Dupont, but for me it's Pieter-Steph du Toit, and he's the best blindside flank in the world, but now he's also going to be the best number 5 in the world. And don't forget, he started his career at lock, so I'm not worried about that at all. And Ben Jason Dixon, so far, has been very impressive indeed as a Springbok, and I do not have any concerns with him making part of the back row for the Springboks. Let's take a look now at the back line. Kobus Reinach is the scrum half. Don't forget, he's more dangerous than climate change. Sasha Feinberg Ngomezulu is the fly half. Kurt Lee Arendse and Cheslin Colby are on the wings. Damien Dialende and Jesse Creel are the centre pairing. And Aphelele Fassi is the man at fullback. Little bit of an interesting one there. Kobus at 9. I think that we, like in most positions in South African rugby at the moment, have an embarrassment of riches at number 9. So I don't have a problem at all with Kobus. I think that Grant Williams will get his turn, and we'll look at the bench in a moment. Sasha has been superb thus far in his Springbok career, and I think it's quite clever putting him in there. Rassie is obviously somebody who knows Feinberg and Ngomezulu better than what you and I know him. And I think that this will be a good test under pressure against the All Blacks. It's not his debut, which is something that I don't like. I don't like giving Boks their debuts against New Zealand. Rather, make your debut against somebody else, inverted commas, ease your way into Test rugby, and then you get a shot at the Kiwis. And I think that it will work out quite well. Kobus is very experienced. Then you got Sasha. And then on his outside, we've got Damien Dialende and Jesse Creel, who is arguably the best outside centre in the world on current form. So he's got lots of experience around him. I'm not worried about this one at all. In fact, if anything, I'm really excited to see how Sasha goes. Then on the wings, plenty of experience. And then Aphelele Fassi, I believe he's earned his time. We don't have Damian Willemse currently. So who is the next fullback after Willie Leroux retires? And we know that, I'm not trying to force Philly into retirement here, but we know that his time is coming towards an end. Damian Willemse obviously is the incumbent. You got Handré Pollard that can go to 15. Sasha can go to 15 if necessary. Aphelele Fassi, he is a player that I've been very excited about for a long time. His form hasn't always been the best in the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, particularly for the Sharks, but he's come back into the box setup and he's looking good, and it's something that I'm very excited about. Let's take a look now at the bomb squad. Unsurprisingly, Malcolm Marx, Gerard Steenekamp and Vincent Koch. You can just imagine what they're going to do when they come off the bench somewhere around the 55th minute or 45th minute, I imagine. Marco van Staden, Aldrich Lowe and Kwagga Smith. So it's a 6-2 split. And then you've got Grant Williams and Handré Pollard. Both of those players were mentioned earlier when I was giving my assessment of the backline. So if things are not going well for Sasha, Pollard can just come on and take care of business. Grant Williams, a magnificent number 9. I believe he will be our starting scrum half at the 2027 World Cup, but maybe not just yet. And that's clearly what Rassie has gone with in this instance. As for the forwards, well, it's a 6-2 bench, so you know what's coming. And there's a number of players that I'm very excited about to see coming on in the second half. Obviously, Malcolm Marx. And you look at a guy like Kwagga Smith, who is just a machine. In my opinion, he is the best player in the world coming off the bench and making a difference. And then Elrich Lowe, you could argue a little unlucky to have been moved to the bench. But also, don't forget that these days, it's not really starters and bench players. It's more like first half players, bomb squad players, if that makes sense. It's all part of the wider strategy. I think years gone by, you would have said that a guy starting on the bench, it was almost like being dropped. Whereas these days, starting on the bench, it's actually part of the wider strategy. So it's not really a problem like it used to be in the old days. Something else that I find very interesting, 12 of the players who helped beat New Zealand in the Rugby World Cup final last year at the Stade de France are included in this match day 23. That's good experience. They know how to beat the All Blacks. And don't forget, we've beaten them on each of the last 2 occasions that we've played them. 12-11 in that World Cup final last year, and then 35-7, a record win against them in the Qatar Airways Cup match in London at Twickenham. So I'm very keen to hear what you think is going to happen on Saturday. I will put out a full and proper preview video later in the week, but for now, let me say I'm confident, despite the crisis that we have at lock, that the Springboks are going to overcome New Zealand at Ellis Park this Saturday. I'm going with a win. I'd like to hear what you have to say. And don't forget, guys, this is all part of my new series of videos. I've rejigged and retweaked the channel a little bit. So from now on, you can expect more videos like this, news, updates, previews, and reviews. And if you'd like to help me grow the channel even more, you can hit the like button down there. You can even spear tackle that like button if you like. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And you can also join my Patreon page. You can become a patron. How does it work? It's you supporting my channel with a small financial contribution every month. And the link is in the description below. Click on that, sign up, and make a small donation to my channel. It will really, really help me, guys. The first thing that I want to do with any of the monies that I'm able to collect is get a brand new microphone for these videos to make them even better for you. Oh, and just before I go, you might want to go and check out some of the other videos that I've put together on this channel while you're here. Well, since we're talking about the Boks and the All Blacks at Ellis Park, how about that magnificent win against them, 46-40 in 2000 at Ellis Park? Tinus Delport was one of the stars of that match. Here's the video I did with him, an interview where we discussed that fixture and his entire Bok career. You can click on that and go check it out now. Over here, another video for you from this channel as recommended by YouTube.